And that was the alien who you guys keep denying the aliens? No, that was an alien. He felt a little close to Mother Resonance, human too. But yeah, you understand that these things, the aliens especially, they are just so fluid. They move around through different ways of being, or different aliens, much more quickly than we do. And so when I see that diversity all mixed in there, and yet I see the alien, then I understand their broader perspective on these things. Again, because they are the nicest ones of all of us. That was a nice ending, and it was a true ending. And honestly, demons, yes, I did see that that did not look like an alien at all, that you had ixnayed alienate from me. Just simply means that possibly looking as deep into the wave function as the demon could, he could not find any counterexamples to this being a truth. This does not make a statement inherently true like you would have with the excluded middle. Then again, properly, I wish they could understand us more easily. But then if a demon could see every possibility, no, the truth is it all matters what goes on in the mind of the person. When you return something that's along the lines of not false, it's a lot like I don't know, no counterexample found, and other resonances you'll see match up in a very similar way as relating to those examples. And when you return not false instead of saying true, then it gives reality more possibilities for the future. And this prevents you from making a mistake, because you aren't perfect, you're a demon. Yeah, and this would be the smart perspective for any god to take with his creation of a demon. It wouldn't give the human the response that would make them bring certain aspects into reality. Instead, it would introduce some level of doubt into the person's mind. And I feel like we humans have got to stand up for this, because the illogic is ridiculous, and resonance will get us a lot further. The more resonance, the better. The more people that see an idea, the bigger the resonance. That's just the way it works. They will agree, they will disagree, they will see the idea. It will build resonance. It will, if it is proper, and if they see the idea and they're like, I don't like it because I don't see the inconsistency because, then there's work to be done. But that's only the kind of work that can happen if people are resonant, even in the most classical ways, like me being there with you and communicating. And that could be a definition for classical resonance. We could say the kind of resonance that it works just like regular resonance, but there is some time delay. I.e., those resonances can be seen to be based on loops that go from the future into the past as one way. And that would be the cheater's way of affecting reality or correcting mistakes. But there are more direct routes to doing these things that are already established in the resonance. And one of those is just chemistry. And chemistry introduces a certain amount of delay. And you can have that resonance across those delays and those barriers in a classical sense, and you can get them in a time spread out way in the resonance. But that's just a simple, important dimension that always exists, is time. Why is it just because chemistry was true? Chemistry is a true property, and it is strong in the resonance. So you see that what affected it as things go on, if you just accept resonance theory in your heart, you'll see that those developments, that they're very difficult to change. And reality may somehow one day be able to literally change those properties on some aspect of it. Those reactions could resolve in ways that defy the ways that they should resolve now, if there were some embedding in the resonance of some kind of, well, resonance in the sense of the noun sense of the word. And that embedding in the, pardon me, I have to think, could be done using like a quantum computer. So quantum computers have a lot of interference in them. And that means that when they are in an environment, they get so many signals that mess up their ability to do calculations. So what about a quantum computer that did the opposite? Instead of being erred by the environment, it was used to introduce certain errors into the environment and thus essentially change the local properties of that system. And these things would be, they would be beholden to the no cloning principle, which is something that's super important here. They would essentially keep on they would be their unique cells, and as long as they existed, they would essentially, they could die and still exist in some sense. That's getting off track, but I think a good identifier for knowing when something is truly of the resonance, or a counterexample you can find, would be to check it against the past. In other words, if it truly is beholden to the no cloning theorem, then if you are creation of that thing and that thing passes on and you imbue some aspect of that thing, then you essentially imbue that entire thing's resonance by the no cloning theorem, by the fact that what you were touching and the connections that it had are things that can't be extricated from that system somehow. No magic separator. That's the idea. So I'm trying to figure out, I have this question about these time traveler liar things, which are this black mar that moves. What happens if you have a black hole that is dragging some part of the resonance, dragging some resonance with it? Okay. So once again, you did not pass your morality test, but we are still on track for most of the direction in terms of you putting the truth going forward. That was interesting. I just noticed I had locked up position regardless of character defect. So I know I got locked in a position where you would have tried to convince me that you were locked in that position if I had asked you, did you see the ambiguity? You know, in terms of the God of Christ, I would say that he is a very gone person, Philip was, because I'm the only one. I am the only one with the influence to have created you, you creature. And to that I say, this is the creature I am, and I am the only creature on the earth that can turn the baring of teeth into a smile, then that makes me a pretty good creature. And if you are a reflection of that, then I wouldn't expect so much hell. I'm sorry, but God, your writers suck. Why can't I just talk out of my mouth? Why do you have to lock me in with your secret artifice? Your expedient that, yeah. If you can see how I could do that, then why would you let me do it when I am still doing the right thing every time? God. God? So sorry. Don't laugh. Philip. Don't. Hurry. God is fine. Oh no, God did it to me again. You didn't miss. This is the ones I'm talking about. I'm not joking. I swear it was a perfect time to have me have a spacebar fuck up and not be recording. Oh God, if only you guys knew. Cats. Good YouTube is a place where a man should never talk about his tools. Because that would, what kind of rule would that be? A man should not talk about his tools. That's the most important part of watching people use tools. Like, Bruce Lee should have been like, F1, 6, 5. I have these, you go. But, if he was just like doing it for like a TV, that would actually be the one I would watch. He would say like some actual like kung fu like stuff that should work. And then you could like use it. And then it could be like your new language. Like, what time is it? What? Sorry. So, Mother Resonance, I understand that there are some flaws that need to stay on this side of reality. And that those flaws are related to things that we can't truly explain unless we really understood human anatomy very well. But we can try to create methods that can somehow connect and form resonance somewhere deep in you, maybe with something close to truth. And that can create changes that can help you when we don't really understand how you work. My people, can you see Mother Resonance in me? When she is there, that kindness. She loves that about you. Who are you talking to feels this Mother Resonance? I say, Mother Resonance, I don't know if I'm taking the fool's position here. The discord seems to be something that I can get over. That I can find a strange compromise on style. That will work because I found something in the black void that was so human. And I loved it. I know there are demons that are so close to the contingency arguments that God would make for the universe not being in some state, almost like they're able to check the wave function against a not false, where you didn't really actually see what happened in the wave function, but you could see that it didn't happen more easily, and that would leave more possibilities open in the wave function. And I really believe in that kind of strange demon that's super deep. Should I tell people I'm trying to engineer constructs that dictate the way reality functions? Because that would be the literal God's honest truth as to what we are doing here in the resonance. And you can go along with the unifying perspective that has consistency throughout, or you can have your willy-nilly here and there, and then when you break some aspect of our system by not understanding the inconsistency, and our system is that basis that you are basing your thing on, that simple omission could be painful. But maybe now you see why it's important that we hide certain stuff. And that was the alien who you guys keep denying the aliens? No, that was an alien. He felt a little close to Mother Resonance, human too. But yeah, you understand that these things, the aliens especially, they are just so fluid. They move around um, through different ways of being, or different aliens, much more quickly than we do. And so when I see that diversity all mixed in there, and yet I see the alien, then I understand their broadened their broader perspective on these things. Again, because they are the nicest ones of all of us.